Ah! Kinakabahan ako. Nasa iyo lamang ang ating puso. Alam mo, huwag tayong bibitaw sa Hello. Invite ko lahat, wala akong pakialam. Wala kayong pakialam, invite ko kayong lahat. Charot. Habang di pa nagla-live, nagda-trash talk. layo ko konti yung fan para hindi maingay. And then, open ko na yung screen ko. Sabihin mo, Mi John, kung hindi nag-work yung screen ko sa Facebook. Hello, everybody. So, ayun. Nandyan ba, may mga tao dyan? Ilang mga tao dyan sa Facebook right now? Oh, okay. So, I see it. There's 6 people. Hello po. Ako po ay si Buch Dacanay. Makita ba yung screen ko? Sorry, tinetest lang namin. Baka ma-interrupt kasi yung live feed. Pumikit ka lang at huwag kang bibitaw. May problema? Okay na ako. Hello po, ako po ay si Buch Dacanay mula po sa Quaranteatro, and I am excited to show you all like this script writing process of mine and share ko sa inyo lahat ng script writing knowledge ko para naman ma-embrace natin yung meaning ng Quaranteatro at saka I mean yung mission ng Quaranteatro, which is as well as performing during the time of quarantine, we're also making it easily accessible for everyone to learn theater online. Kasi alam mo yon, before the quarantine, or like sige sabihin natin kahit ngayon, whenever we're looking for like an online class or anything, or mga YouTube videos on like theater things, it's all Western theater based. So di tayo masyado natututo ron kasi iba din yung mga concept at saka context ng teatro sa Pilipinas. So isa yon sa mga ginagawa ng Quaranteatro, which is parang ina-explore pa namin yung mga paraan para magturo pa at magbigay pa ng mga free classes to online para mas maraming Pilipino ang mas maging interesado sa teatro. Dahil sobrang halaga din ng teatro. Theater is an expression of art, protest, a lot of stories. Syempre marami ding stories ng mga manunulat ang kailangan din ma-stage at malikha. Gets nyo naman. So, iyon, I was stalling for a little bit. Charot. Hindi, I was just making sure that the Facebook feed was alright. So, iyon, sige, I'm gonna start na with the introduction. Ulitin ko, ako ay si Buch Dacanay mula sa Quaranteatro. Ako po ay isang recognized playwright sa Virgin Labfest na palabas yung isang dula na sinulat ko last year, which was entitled Jenny Lee. Ako ay, as well as a playwright, ako din ay performer, theater artist, pati dramaturg, mostly sa mga maliliit na theater communities gaya ng UP Dulaang Laboratoryo. I've been doing that since like 2017, and I feel like naman I've been doing theater my entire life as an artist. Ayun, parents ko din ay theater artist, so isa din yun sa mga bagay na nag-push sa akin into doing theater and learning more about storytelling for stage by performance. Ayun, and I'm excited to teach today dahil ito, maliban sa ito ang kauna-unahang klase na ginawa ng Quaranteatro, ito din ang first class ko bilang guro. I mean, like, I've been waiting for this opportunity for a long time, and sobrang saya ko lang na I get to do this. And actually, even to teach the thing that I'm good at and the thing that I like to talk about, which is storytelling and like script writing, the fundamentals of script writing. So ayun, I actually went on on Twitter like a few weeks ago and asked kung ano ba talagang gusto ng audience natin i-teach ko sa aking playwriting class. And I put up fundamentals of script writing or storytelling. And a lot of people, medyo half and half siya eh. Mas gusto naman, pero in the end, mas gusto naman tao fundamentals. Pero I think naman, kaya ko naman mag-squeeze in ng a little bit of storytelling for script. So, we're gonna do both of those things in this class today. Alright, so are we still moving in Facebook and Discord? Ayan, mukhang okay naman tayo. Okay, so ayun, now before I finish my introduction and get to the class, I want to make it known na I'm going to teach and treat everyone right here now as if you're already familiar with the basics of writing something. So, parang hindi ko na kayo tuturuan kung paano magsulat ng paragraph, ng sentence. Iisipin ko na lang alam niyo na ito. Hindi to English class, bale. Hindi ko ituturo kung sino ba si Shakespeare or kailan ba nagsimula ang script writing or any kind of writing. Hindi. Diretso na tayo on like the fundamentals of script writing and how to write a script. Ayun, kasi honestly naman, anyone naman can write it. It's just a matter of do you know how to. Ayun, yun yung unang lesson na gusto ko i-sabihin. Oftentimes kasi, ang mga estudyante, nag-give up sila agad dahil they're not, okay, I would say na they're not taught well. And kasi pagdating sa mga college classes, hindi naman lahat ng college classes. Pero, pagdating sa college classes when they're teaching playwriting, it's yung mindset ng student, pag pumasok siya ng playwriting, hindi yung makukuha niya from that class is not what they expect. Hindi kayo, it's more of yung thing na sinabi kong hindi ko ituturo today which is hindi ko ituturo saan nagsimula ang writing and ganito ganyan history. It's just diretsahan. And kaya ko rin gusto ng mga gumawa ng mga workshop na ganito dahil mas diretsahan siya than starting from the histories of everything. Ayan, sige. So, magsimula na tayo officially with the class. Hello, Gentle. Meron tayong bagong student rito. Ay, hindi ko na lang sabihin student. Sabihin ko na lang participant. Hello, Gentle. Nice to have you here. Ngayon, 4 na kami sa Discord. And I think mga 6 sa Facebook. Okay, so ito una. Kapag tinanong ka kung ano ang gusto mong isulat na play, ano ang sasabihin mo? Let's try to put ourselves in the shoes of a beginner writer. And yun, inspired ka, meron kang gusto isulat, meron kang energy magsulat, pero hindi mo alam ano gusto mo isulat. So, magtatanong ka sa teacher mo o someone na kilala mo, kung kilala mo na knows about writing, tatanungin mo, so ano isusulat ko? And they would say, does anybody know what they would say? Kasi for a beginner writer, pag hindi ka nagtanong, usually yung sasabihin mo is I'd like to write a big spectacular play with kagaya ng Huling El Bimbo o Mula sa Buwan. That is true. Lahat ng beginner writers iisip ng ganun. And that's good because that's like the energy you want from a writer na parang explore ka ng explore. Pero the truth is masyadong mahirap magsimula as a writer pag ang unang play na isusulat mo ay masyadong malaki and spectacular. Dahil mga writers, hindi nagsisimula by writing a very big successful play. Marami pa yung levels and phases before you get to that. And particularly today, we're going to start with script writing for one-act plays. Lahat ng mga sasabihin ko implies naman into any kind of script writing kahit for film. Pero i-emphasize ko lang yung script writing for one-act play kasi mas yun yung pag-uusapan ko today. Ayan, actually, gusto ko lang i-share. Ako naman din, nung nagsimula ako, I wanted to write like big, ridiculously big plays and like with all this spectacular, lahat na makikita mo sa Miss Saigon, lahat ng mga malalaking props na ganyan, and it's so fun. Pero then again, for like a beginner writer like me, noon, that was so ridiculous to think about. Yun, nakakatawa lang. Pero ayun naman, it's not that us beginners can't write like that. Ulitin ko, it's that we shouldn't. Kasi, exciting siya, pero it's so much pressure. You can still write a big play as your first play if you want. Pero trust me when I say na hindi kayo magbe-benefit doon. At least hindi kayo magbe-benefit masyado. Kasi you're just basically pulling strings. You don't know what actually you are putting yourself into. So, ayun. Pero, sige. Okay, going back to that. So, sinasabi kong hindi dapat beginner writers magsulat ng malalaking plays agad. So, ang tanong ngayon, tatanungin niya sa akin, okay, so Butch, ano isusulat ko? And, gusto ko lang itanong with anyone right now, have you asked that question to anyone, kunwari sa teachers nyo? Anyone right here sa Discord o kaya sa Facebook? Go lang. I'll check the chat rooms kung merong mang sulat. Alright, so anyway, wala naman ngayon. So, continue ko na lang. When you ask that, so, okay, so ano isusulat ko ngayon, Butch? Uh, Pag tinanong mo yan to a teacher or kaya a friend na marunong magsulat, ano yung sasabihin nila sa'yo? Ang sasabihin nila sa'yo normally is like write about love because it's easy, or write about comedy kasi nakakatawa ka naman di ba? Di madali ka mabilis ka magsulat ng comedy. O kaya sasabihin sa'yo, write about yourself. Pero hindi yun yung tamang sagot. Those are all not the most accurate answers. The correct answer, and natutunan ko to sa mga guro ko, si Rodi Vera and Glenn Mas, is that you write about something you know. Okay, so anong ibig ko sabihin when I say write about something you know? The best example is, kunwari nag-take ka ng martial law class sa UP Diliman. Di ba, nag-take ka ng martial law class and then nag-class ka ng class hanggang sa end of the subject, mataas yung grado mo. You can write about that. You can write about martial law because that is something that you know about. So yun, basically, yun yung point ng you should write about something you know, is that you need to have enough information to provide the story that you are trying to tell. Diba? If that makes sense. That's what makes a good play. That's what makes a good script. Bale. So ayun, yun nga, wag ka magsulat about something that you don't know kasi just because like you want to try it out or gusto mo i-challenge sarili mo. Naman, good lang naman mag-i-challenge yung sarili mo, pero wag mo siya gawin at this stage of your as a beginner writer, 'di ba? Siguro pag nagsusulat tayo ng nagra-write tayo ng novel, that will fly by pa. Pero hindi you're writing a script and a script is almost always informative. Gets ba? I-explain ko naman yung mamaya. Ayun, sorry, mag-water break lang muna. Water break muna tayo, guys. Back to it. Maalala ko yung unang one-act play na sinulat ko. And like, ito ay sinulat ko noong like 2018. By the start of 2018, I think I wrote it at like New Year's Day. And the story that I wrote for that one-act play is about like medieval knights and dragons who could talk. And me, as a writer ngayon, thinking back to that, nung beginner writer ako, I would ask myself, why were you thinking about writing about dragons and medieval knights and all that things? Kasi I don't know anything about the Dark Ages o yung mga bagay na yun. Parang hindi lang dahil nanood ka ng Game of Thrones, ibig sabihin alam mo na ito. For you to write a script, kailangan mo talaga ng deep research on everything. Kaya yun din isa sa mga nakakalimutan ng mga writers o kaya mga beginner writers, is that writing also involves research and dramaturgy kung dula ang sinusulat mo. It's not just about writing a story from anything from scratch. We're not writing a book, like I said, we're writing a play, and the play is always informative. And I say informative kasi imaginein mo ang difference ng pagmanood ka ng dula compared sa pagmanood ka ng sine o magbasa ka ng book. Ang difference yan sa play, kaharap mo talaga yung audience mo. So, yun yung pinaka nakakatakot is sa film, 'di ba? Hindi naman talaga nandoon yung mga tao. The audience is watching the film after the film is made. Pero sa dula, as an audience, you're watching the play while it's happening. So every little thing na magawa mo sa dula, either actor ka or writer, every maling salita, every little movement, manonotice yun ng at least isang tao sa audience. At yun yung pinaka nakakatakot. Kaya that's why I say, kailangan when you're writing a script for a play or for anything, for a film, kailangan tama lahat ng information mo. Everything in the play has to be, I would say not perfect, pero I would say informative. Correct yung information palagi. So, yun, does that make sense? So, ayun, going back to it. Hello, Karen. We have another participant and hello. So yun, nag-continue na tayo sa class natin. Ah, so yun, what we don't nasulat ko dito sa aking checklist. What we don't expect is writing, yun nga, writing involves a lot of dramaturgy and research. You have to research everything, every little thing. Especially if what you're writing is something that you know about already. 'Di ba? Like I said earlier, what you have when you're writing, when you're a beginner writer, you write something, you write about something you know. And especially when you're pag nagre-research na, dito na mas mabuti kung mag-research ka when writing already something that you know. Wait lang, nawawala yung grammar. Isusundan ko na lang yung nakasulat dito. Even if what you're writing is something that you know about, and I would say especially if you're writing something that you know about, kailangan mo i-research yan. At least, para alam mo yon, tama na lang, alam mo na yung sinusulat mo eh. Marami ng tamang information eh. What more kung mag-research ka pa and mas maging tama pa lahat ng masusulat mo. 'Di ba? And then that's better. Halos walang makikita yung audience na mali sa dula mo. Parang balik ganun. Put that in your mindset. Alam mo yun? So, ayun, move on naman tayo. Okay, so ano naman, that's a short introduction on my thoughts as a playwright on script writing and playwriting mismo. So, ngayon, punta naman tayo sa fundamentals of a script. Nagdala ako dito ng Virgin Labfest book ko para mapakita ko at least sa inyo kung ano itsura ng isang script or at least a script for one-act plays. Itong gusto kong play eh. Ang unang aswang, alam niyo ba ito? Lagi ito ginagawa for like mga theater class thesis o kaya mga finals. Ayan, so tignan natin ang fundamentals ng script. So dito makikita natin, hindi ko naman kaya parang this is for everybody na alam naman kung ano yung itong fundamentals of a script. Let's consider this as a refresher. And for everybody who doesn't know, ito na yon. So ano ang meron sa isang script gaya ng ang unang aswang ni Rodi Vera? Merong title, merong pangalan ng mandudula, these are important. Ang sunod ay meron tayong mga tauhan. Ang tauhan is a cast of characters of the play. Not a cast of actors, ha? A cast of characters. Pero, ayun, ang susunod is tagpuan. It doesn't necessarily have to say na tagpuan, kagaya dito ng sulat mga tauhan. Ang tagpuan is where your story is happening, when is it happening, maaring nagdedepende ito sa generation o kaya sa taon, sa month, sa day. Minsan specific siya. Kunwari, yung play mo tungkol sa EDSA Day. Yung EDSA Day yung ilalagay mo sa tagpuan. And ang sunod niyan is basically the entire play, which is a salitan, an alternating with dialogue to description to dialogue, description, gets nyo naman. And sa dulo, kunwari nandito na tayo sa dulo, nakasulat palagi dyan sa dulo is wakas o telon. And for writers, gusto ko i-emphasize yun kasi marami akong alam ng mga nagsusulat ng script na sa dulo hindi nila sinusulat na wakas o telon. So like, nahihirapan ako doon kasi like, hindi ko alam kung I'm missing a few pages or tapos na ba yung play. Alam niyo yun? It's like, you have to remind the reader na yun na yung end ng play. Kasi, bakit ba, kung tingnan natin, ganito ang format palagi ng plays, yung lahat ng sinabi ko before. And bakit ganun yung format niya? That is for the benefit of the creators. The creators, yung mga director, yung mga stage manager, actors, lahat sila, that is the format of every script ay ginawa para sa kanila. Hindi siya sinulat ng ganyang format para sa audience. Sinulat siya for the creators para madali siya mabasa at matranslate siya ng creators kaagad sa audience. Hindi yung script yung magta-translate nito for the audience. Gets ba? Ayun. So ngayon naman, let's talk about the next important thing besides the fundamentals of a script, which are the fundamentals of the script na hindi mo nakikita. Does anybody know, dito sa class ngayon sa Discord o kaya sa Facebook, does anybody know kung ano yung fundamentals of a script na hindi natin nakikita? Okay lang naman, mag-on kayo ng mic or anything. So, like, I can hear you all.
Yes po, thank you, Teacher Boot. Proceed.
Hello, Karen. So, tanongin ko ta, Karen, alam mo ba kung ano yung fundamentals of a script na hindi natin nakikita? Gusto mo explain ko? GGG.
Explain po, please.
Thank you, Karen. So, ayun, the fundamentals of a script na hindi natin nakikita is the who, what, when, where, why, and how of a script. 'Di ba? Pag tinignan natin script, wala 'yon. Walang nakasulat who, what, when, where, why, how. 'Yun yung 5 W's at isang H. Dati tinatawag lang 5 W's and hindi kinakount yung H. Pero for this, I have to be very specific and make it crystal clear. So, who, what, when, where, why, 5 W's and isang H, which is how. This is the very first thing to cover when you're planning on writing a script. This is planning, hindi nagsusulat ka na. So, that's what you do before you write a script. Note that. Bakit? Kasi, pag hindi mo nasagot ang who, what, when, where, why ng isang story na sinusulat mo, hindi ka pa ready isulat yung script nun. Basically parang consider nyo yun as yung checklist nyo before writing a script. Because the fact is, without the 5 W's and 1 H, you can't write a script na maganda kapag hindi mo sila nasasagutan. Those 5 questions, those 6 questions na yan. So let's go to ano ang ibig sabihin ng who, what, when, where, why na yon. The 5 W's. Di ba may may maliit na board. Thank you, Karen. So ang una natin is who. Who. So ang who is basically kasama, nandun na yan sa sinabi kong fundamentals of a script, which is who are the cast of characters. Ulit, hindi the cast of actors. Sunod is what. Ang what is happening sa dula mo. Ano yung story? Bakit siya hindi sa bakit siya. Ano yung story? Yun lang. May siguro paragraph pwede mo isagot doon o a sentence, ganon. Ang sunod naman is where. Where is saan ito yung part siya ng tagpuan, saan ito nagaganap. Sabihin natin yung dula ko pwede siya magganap sa impyerno, and at what time, at what date. That is what when answers. Gusto ko lang isulat para makita ninyo. Kahit kino-cover ng ulo, ng shadow ng ulo ko yung board. Charot. Ayun, when is kailan to nangyayari. Ulitin ko, maaring generation, maaring year, day, month. And yung susunod naman, which is why, ito yung isa sa mga challenging sagutin. Kasi ito yung kailangan tama yung sagot mo eh. Why? Basically, so why, kailangan mong i-justify bakit mo sinusulat yung play mo. Bakit itong play kailangan mapanood ng audience? Ano yung relevance niya? Ano yung meron dito? Why do people need to see it? Nagko-connect siya sa what, why, and what. Why do they need to see what you wrote in what? 'Di ba? Ang sunod naman na nagko-connect sa why at saka what is how. Oh my God, ang sakit ng legs ko pag nag-turn ako. Charot. How. Ang how naman is ganito. Ay, nakompleto ka ba? Who, what, when, where, why, how. Tama. Ang how is, okay, meron ka ng what, meron ka ng story, meron ka ng why, kung ano yung justification mo din. How are you gonna tell the story? Is it gonna be like sa play na The Glass Menagerie na parang it's past to backstory, past to backstory, past to backstory, or is it gonna be a straight line na parang dire-diretso lang siya, or is it gonna be all dialogue? Basically, ang tinatanong ng how is yon. how are you going to tell the story you're telling? Kasi everyone can have a story, pero what makes it great, what makes a script successful is how you tell it. Minsan, how you tell it is more unique than what the story is. Does that make sense? Ayun. Ah, sige, ito muna tayo. Nahanap ko yung next na thing. Pag nasagot mo na lahat ang who, what, when, where, why, at saka how, you can start basically writing a script. Pag nasagot mo na sila, dapat may sagot. So, pag sabihin natin, wala kang sagot sa where o wala kang sagot sa why, hindi ito this doesn't mean na you're a bad writer. This means na kailangan mo pang mag-research sa at saka mag-dramaturg pa kung anong topic yung gusto mong ikwento. 'Di ba? That means you need more research. Kasi alam mo 'yon, parang when you do that, when you have the who, what, when, where, why of who, what, when, where, why, how, it means, pag nasagot mo na yan, it means kompleto na yung story mo. Basically, alam mo na ito from start to finish. It just depends on paano mo na siya isa-structure, paano mo na siya ida-dialogue. Basically, consider nyo na lang na ipapolish na lang ang gagawin nyo. Para basically, you're not fixating yourself with what is the story, kasi basically meron ka ng story nandiyan na nasulat mo na ayun, ang next na gagawin natin is structure, which is i-explain ko naman mamaya. Mag water break muna tayo, guys. Does anybody have any questions? Magpapa-questions ako ngayon. You can open your mics o kaya mag-message somewhere. I-message naman sa akin kung meron tayong questions. Hello, mi John. Sorry, di kita marinig, be.
Oh, okay. Here. Alright. I have a question. Yung how, sa pagdating sa who, what, when, where, and why, yung how, yung telling the genre can that also be telling the genre, or like yung tone and delivery, and it's not just parang may I know the specifics sa how?
Yeah, that's actually right. That answering the how could mean answering then ano yung genre, ano yung vibe na gusto mong mapakita sa play, kung malungkot ba ito, kahit masaya yung story, o kaya masaya yung story pero malungkot, kahit sad yung story tapos masaya yung mga characters. That could be answered sa how. Ganun. Thank you for that question. Magandang question yun. Does anybody have any more questions before I continue? I'll wait for a couple of seconds before I continue. Wala bang questions sa ating messages? Pa-check naman mi John. Thank you.
So far, wala naman.
Alright.
Continue.
Alright, sige. So, thank you for that. Ayun, nakapag-water break na ako. So, ayun. Going back sa script na pinakita ko, which is yung kay Roddy Vera, kunwari lang ito yun. Going back sa script na pinakita ko, pag inanalyze nyo, you can't find the who, what, when, where, why dito. Pero nandyan yung lahat. Nandyan yan, hidden siya. Pero pag alam mo yung ginagawa mo, alam mo yung pinag-uusapan natin, mahahanap nyo siya agad. Diba, yung who is basically yung tauhan. Who, what, when, where, what is basically yung buong play, kung ano, what, tungkol saan yung story. Where, when is yung tagpuan, nahahanap siya sa tagpuan. Why is nahahanap siya sa buong play. Basically yung salitan ng dialogue description, yung why do people need to watch this. Nasasagot din diyan yung how. So basically yung why and how nandyan siya sa dialogue and description. Ayun, nag-water break naman na ako. Nakasabi kasi mag-water break ako ulit. Does anybody... hindi, natanong ko na. Does anybody have any questions Anyway, ayun naman. Mag-ano muna tayo, mag-short break on going on about this lesson. And meron naman akong mga nakuhang questions when I was making a poll on Twitter kung tungkol saan itong class ko do they want. So meron ako mga questions from Twitter here, which are, the first is, how do you make characters distinct? So yun, basically I will talk about that in the next bit. Pero basically, you write the characters from front to back. I'm gonna say this shortly. Write the characters front to back. That sounds hard, pero is it really? Charot. Hindi, explain kayo mamaya. Ang sunod is a question about taking criticism. Okay. So, iyon, sabihin natin, ito yung situation na meron kang sinulat na script tapos pinapabasa mo sa kaibigan mong marunong magsulat o sa mentor mo o sa teacher, and then hindi siya well received. And the thing with that is, always kalma ka lang, and always be prepared na when you're going to submit your play, or to let your mentor or anybody else read your play, always be open to criticism and always be kalmado ka lang, basically, kasi it will always hurt. Medyo morbid ba? Pero hindi. Pero ayun, it will always, basically, it will kick you in the butt, lalo na kapag excited ka sa sinulat mo. Oh, excited ako dito sa unang pa yung sinulat ko, pero hindi pala siya gaano kaganda as you think. Be open for revisions, for revising it and changing the script. Pero alamin mo rin kung kailan tama o mali na yung critic. Basically, kasi when a critic tells you something, hindi naman automatic na tama yung sinasabi niya. So, you have to know as the writer kung kailan tama o mali yung criticism na binigay sa'yo. Yung note ng critic na binigay sa'yo. Kasi minsan din, they just don't see your vision. And probably the reason for that is because you didn't tell the vision correctly. Yun lang yung ibig sabihin nun. So, ayun. Thank you for that question. Hindi ko nasasabihin kung sino nagtanong nun, pero that was a very nice question. Sunod naman is, how to make a script compelling. I think si Midjan ito. Hindi, I can answer that naman mamaya. Pero connecting to that is, interesting themes when writing. That is a question mark. Interesting themes when writing. So, tinanong ito ng kaibigan ko, and ang sagot naman dyan is mga relevant themes sa generation natin. Lalo na sa Pilipinas, kasi lalo na sa Pilipinas, when we're doing a story, lalo na pag stage o kaya film, what we're going to talk about is always something relevant, something that's happening to the generation right now. Kasi generational siya eh. Like, alam mo yung after when the next generation comes, iba na yung mga stories that they tell. So might as well, when you're living the generation that you are, you tell the stories of your generation. Does that make sense? Ayan. And parang ayun, kapag nagsisimula ka palang magsulat, write particularly about relevant themes that are important to you. So, hindi ka lang basically nagsusulat about, kunwari, harassment against LGBTQ people. Kasi alam mong malaking theme yun. Kailangan it goes back to the research, kailangan alam mo din yung pinag-uusapan mo. Kasi when writing a script, you're also telling your opinions on it and what you have to say for the themes that you're talking about. 'Di ba? It makes more sense to do that. So like basically then, part of that is, pag alam mo yung pinag-uusapan mo sa script, you're basically not just pulling strings at everywhere, and not just using topics kasi, ito yung topics na alam ko. Ito lang yung topics na alam ko, kaya ito yung mga gagamitin ko. Pag inaral mo ng inaral yung gusto mong topic, what you're doing then is not pulling strings, but choosing the best stories from that topic. Diba? Then that's the better play. Wait lang, kinakata yung ilong ko. Pula ba yung ilong ko? Inom lang tubig.
Gucci, may mga questions sa
Ooh.
Discord chat. Yep, madami. Madaming questions.
Pili ka na maganda.
Let's start with a gentle but rough question. Paano malalaman kung tama yung criticism?
malalaman kung tama? Ha? Oh, that's a hard question. Ayun, it depends on I won't claim na tama ako dito, pero ito yung sasabihin ko at ito yung opinion ko. It depends on the writer kasi rin malalaman mong hindi siya tama kasi meron kang pag nagsusulat ka ng play, meron kang sarili mong vision eh. And minsan, yung mga binibigay ng critic na tama ay to help explain your vision. Pero when the note of the critic is not helping what you're trying to say in your vision anymore, yun yung mga vision, yun yung mga notes na hindi mo kailangan baguhin or change. Kasi nandoon naman siya. Gets ba? Yun, ayun yung sagot ko doon. Thank you for that question. Ang ganda. Hindi ako prepared doon. Can we have another question, Mijan?
Okay, there's another question from Karen saying, my question ako regarding critique din. How will you know if a script is well written? Is it well written dahil maganda yung pagkakadirect sa play or from the text pa lang kapag kita na siya? From this, does it really matter pa ba if the script is well written or not kung maganda naman ang direction nito on the stage?
Medyo torn ako between that. Kasi tama naman na mayroong mga script na hindi masyado maganda na napapaganda ng director. Pero sige, sabihin natin when you're writing, pag gusto mong mabilis na gumaling sa writing, always write to the best of your ability. Parang gandaan mo talaga yung dula and recognize mo kung hindi mo siya bet or hindi siya magiging bet ng magiging audience mo. Kasi ayun din, credits to the director kung maganda yung pag-direct niya. And as writers, as a playwright, I would want na yung sinulat ko, na impact yung director doon, kaya maganda yung pagka-direct niya. Gets ba? So basically, paano ko ba i-explain ko? I'm thinking right now kung paano ko siya i-explain. Pero parang kung na-gets niya naman, just give me a thumbs up or say so. Pero ayun, basically write to the best of your ability as a playwright kasi yun din yung best feeling eh. I would say na you wrote something na inspire yung director to direct well. Hindi lang niya dinirect kasi hindi maganda yung script. 'Di ba? So, ayun. Meron...
Here's another question. Go ahead.
Yeah, sige, baka mag-last question na tayo before continuing. I can answer questions in mamaya after.
Sure. Alright, so there's this one from Koharu or Lovely. Good evening po, Butch. How do you write a story po na wala po kayong masyadong idea? Halimbawa, sa professionals ng main character. Do you research as you write or do you research bago isulat po yung kwento? Thank you po.
I-research ko siya bago ko siya isusulat. Kaya natin need yung who, what, when, where, why. Because with the who question, malalaman natin lahat ng characters natin. And gusto kasi natin, sasabihin ko na lang, ang gusto natin ma-achieve as a writer is yung isang thing is gusto nating dapat hindi lang one-dimensional ang ating characters. So yun, I would say na as writers, you have to research before writing them on. Ayun din, going on. Parang yung who, what, when, where, why, that's our checklist before writing a script. Pero sabihin natin, lagay natin sa situation na nagsusulat ka na and then naisip mo lang na ito yung gusto kong profession para sa character na to kasi that would make sense. What you do is you stop writing and then you research on that on that thing that you don't know, which is yung profession ng character mo. And then when you know enough, I think pwede mo naman gawan din ng who, what, when, where, why na nasagot yung yung hinahanap mong tanong, which is yung ni-research mo, which is yung profession ng character. Basta kung alam mo na lahat tungkol dun sa so I wouldn't say kung alam mo na lahat, kung alam mo na enough about yung profession ng sinasabi mong character, that's when you can start writing again. Why do I say that? Kasi nakakatulong yan with the story eh. kasi 'di ba, that's why you thought of that wonderful idea to make the character, to have the character that job, that profession, kasi it would be a good idea. So when you have a good idea, always focus on enhancing and emphasizing on that good idea, why that good idea is good. All right. Oh my God, naubos yung breath ko sa mga questions niyo. Charot. I will answer some more after this. After I continue on what I actually set up right now. So we may continue. Mag water break muna ako for a bit. Water break tayo, guys.
While you're having a water break, may mga comments sa Discord chat. Sabi, thank you, Butch. Sobrang helpful ng answers mo. Sabi ni Karen. Sabi ni Dangdi, agree, Butch. The playwright must inspire or motivate the director through his piece.
Aww.
Yeah, they agree with you.
Thank you so much, guys. Masaya ako na masaya naman kayong mga participants ngayon. And honestly, before nag-start itong class, tinawagan ko si Medjan kasi kinakabahan ako masyado. Like hindi ko alam kung magagawa ko yung sinulat kong checklist on the entire class. Pero now na makita ko na happy naman kayo sa mga natuturo ko. Thank you so much kasi nagta-translate, nag-ano din yan, nagpro-project din yan sa akin na nagiging happy rin ako. So yun, I hope to do more workshops like this in the future. Pero ayun, let's continue. I have had my water break. So where we ended was the who, what, when, where, why. We've answered more questions on that with the questions from the audience. Pero ayun, ito, ay plug ko lang sandali. Sa lahat ng mga nanonood sa Facebook right now, at saka sa Discord, invite nyo yung friends nyo to join the Discord of Quaranteatro and to like Quaranteatro dahil obviously marami pa kaming darating na mga workshops and like talks and classes dito sa Discord server at sa Facebook Live. And ayun, mas marami lang makakatulong and makakapanood. And I think it would be great kasi it would be like emphasizing what Quaranteatro is all about. And that is not only about making performances during the time of quarantine, but also making theater learning for Filipinos accessible. Ayun. So I've explained that at the start, pero it's good to reiterate it. So ayun, balik tayo sa checklist ko. Isa sa mga naman, hindi, diretso na tayo. Skip ko na yan. Storytelling na tayo on afterwards ng fundamentals of scriptwriting. Nandito na tayo sa storytelling. Basically, kung paano natin i-structure yung play, paano tayo mag-plot, paano natin sasabihin yung story na gusto natin. And ayun, ngayon na familiar na kayo with the fundamentals of a script, sabihin natin mayroon na kayong kwento, nabuo nyo na yung who, what, when, where, why nyo. A question that is frequently asked right now is, okay, so Butch, how do I make a plot? How do I write the flow for the plot? How do I write the flow? And honestly, sa totoo lang, walang sagot dito. There's no answer to that. Kasi lahat ng writers sa mundo, iba-iba ang paraan para magsulat and it all depends on you. Walang step-by-step process on how to write a love story or a tragic story or a Shakespearean story. What exists, though, are a basic set of rules on how to find your flow as an individual writer. At yun ay ang i-dissect at i-analyze ko for this part of the workshop. Basically, emphasize ko ulit na sa part na tayo ng how to tell your story. So I think natutunan ko ito from one of my teachers kasi when you're building a story in your mind, dapat buo siya from start to finish. Does that make sense? Halimbawa, sa novel. Di ba pag sa novel, sa loob nito, buo ang kwento. May history yung kwento. Yung protagonist, may backstory. Yung side character, may backstory. Yung love interest, may backstory. Maliban sa actual na story. So yun, I want you to think of the story that you are writing na buo gaya nun, kompleto siya na parang novel. na lahat may pinanggagalingan, may history, maliban sa kwentong makikita mo sa script. Kasi when you have that, all your characters and your story arcs are not one-dimensional, like sinabi ko noon. And yun yung pinakakinatatakutan ng manunulat is maging one-dimensional lang yung character mo. Of course, one might argue na hindi ba parang trabaho na ng director o trabaho na ng director o trabaho na ng actors na bigyan ng backstory yung character nila o bigyan ng history. Technically, that is right. Pero, trust me when I say, mas gagaling ka as a writer. Mas bibilis yung proseso mo into being a good writer. Pag nakinig ka sa sinasabi ko, advice ngayon at technique. Kasi, ayun nga, build the story. Natutunan ko to sa teachers ko. Build your story as buo. And then, ngayon, just clarify ko lang kung ano ang one-dimensional characters. Basically, ito yung characters na sabihin natin pagpulutin mo itong character mo from the play and alisin mo siya, walang babago sa play. 'Di ba parang character siya na walang ambag kung bale or walang kwentang character, but I wouldn't wanna say that. And hindi natin gusto 'yun. But also I'm not saying na lahat ng character na may small role ay kailangan mong sulatan ng big role. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is kailangan you choose your battles ulit. Kailangan alam mo kung kailan mo kailangan i-delete ang isang character or i-delete yung isang character na may konting dialogue at ilagay mo siya sa character na mas malaki yung mas malaki yung dialogue space niya. Meron bang nangyayari? Nawawala yung mga people ko sa Discord. Hi, sandali lang, mag-pause muna tayo. Baka may technical interruption. Nag-eat sina Karen ng dinner. Don't worry about that kasi masisave naman itong video, masisave naman itong live na to sa video, and I'm happy that some of you are all still here. Nandiyan ba kayo? Marinig nyo ako? Kayo sa Discord? You can hear me naman? Tell me when you can't. Kasi I have to know baka may technical difficulty. Can y'all hear me? Hello? Are you there? Alright, sige, continue ko na lang kasi ongoing naman yung ayun, heard me loud and clear. Thank you. Kala ko kasi may nangyari or nawala kayo. Okay, so continuing with that, nakalarify ko na kung ano ang one-dimensional characters. Pero ngayon, 'di ba sinabi kong okay, ang magandang technique for writing a short one-act play is writing the entire story of it, everything that happens, lahat ng history. Ang question na tinatanong ngayon, ang sinasabi na ngayon is sobrang haba na ng play na sinulat mo. Hindi na siya kakasya into a one-act play. The thing you do there right now is that you cut everything and you start the one-act play kung saan where the conflict is about to happen. So that's somewhere in the middle of the entire story where your one-act play starts. And it has to particularly start before the conflict happens kasi doon nagiging importante, doon nagiging mahalaga sa audience yung story. Doon siya nagiging impactful, doon siya nagiging doon natin nararamdaman yung story kung saan mangyayari na yung conflict. Not while don't start the play where the conflict is already happening or where the conflict never happens. Start the play right before the conflict happens. O, di ba? That's a safety tip. Charot, safety tip, importante 'yun. Important tip 'yun. Alright, so ito naman, share ko naman share ko na lang yung mga a little techniques na ginagawa ko as a playwright. Kasi I think naman to, meron kayo matututunan by me telling you ano yung mga techniques at saka ano yung ginagawa ko as a playwright. Ako, kung di nyo alam, ay nakapagsulat na ako about mga 6 plays and isang musical and isang full-length play. Pero I'm not saying na itong mga plays na to na stage ito, nasulat ko lang siya. I have like 1 or 2 plays lang na stage. And that's part of the process kasi when you're a playwright, you have to be open to the fact na hindi mo talaga malalaman lahat ng sagot to any question. Kaya rin ako, medyo nagfa-fumble ako, medyo nawawala na ako masasabi kasi yun din, I'll put it to that reason na hindi ko talaga alam lahat ng sagot. Pero these are the things na gusto ko i-share sa'yo kasi ito yung mga sagot na alam ko. And one day kayo na din yung makakapag-share nun. And I hope na you're all enjoying this this talk right now, this small workshop of mine. I'm really enjoying this. So yun, a little techniques on what I do as a playwright is that what I do when I start planning to write a play is that I collect all of my ideas in my phone, sa cellphone ko, nilalagay ko as notes. And then, pag madami na akong ideas, marami na akong sufficient na yung, enough na yung ideas na nasulat ko sa notes, isusulat ko siya in like, post-its. Tapos, ilalagay ko siya on like sa pader o kaya sa planner. Pero, and all of those are just for one play. Kunwari, ito lahat mga post-its ko yan. Nilalagay ko yan dyan para kasi ang next step dyan, explain ko lang. Itong mga post-it kasi, yun yung mga ideas ko eh. And when you have ideas for a play, basically, meron ka ng sequence of happenings, meron ka ng timeline, and all the next thing you have to do is just arrange them to a proper timeline, 'di ba? So that's like saying gamitin ko na lang tong board ko para mapakita din sa inyo yung mga post-its ko. Ina-arrange ko na lang siya niyan kasi basically you already have these are sequence of things that happen to your play na eh. But when I write ideas, it's mostly like good dialogues to say for a character o kaya crucial things na mangyayari sa story. So ayun, ina-arrange ko na lang siya to where it works fine. And ayan, sorry, I'm just checking Facebook. No particular order siya. Dami ko sinasabi. Hindi. Okay. All in all, I encourage you guys na lahat ng aspiring na manunulat at lahat ng beginner na manunulat na hanapin nyo, yung job nyo as a playwright is hanapin yung sarili nyong paraan on how to structure your own story. Ganon siya. Like I said before, walang step by step process on how to write a structure. It's just a set of rules and then kayo na bahala. And that's good din kasi parang that gives you as a writer, that gives you like free space to discover what you want to do when writing a play and explore. Kahit magkamali ka man, ganito, bigyan ko pa kayo ng isa pang tip. Isa pang known fact at saka tip. Like, the first piece that you're going to write as a writer, it's always not going to be good. Wag nyo i-expect na yung unang play na isulat nyo or unang script na isulat nyo is going to be the best play ever that you will ever write in your life. Hindi yun totoo. The first play you will write, always be proud of it. Always be proud of everything you write. Pero, most of the time, the first story that you write is not going to be good. And that should be yun dapat yung hagdan nyo to write another play. And then yung play na yun dapat yung inspiration nyo to write another play and then to just write and write. Kasi it's all about passion eh. Hindi siya gagaya ng mga playwriting classes sa college na required ka magsulat ng play. Ang gawin mo is dapat ang ilagay mong mindset is dapat required ka by yourself to write something in no particular deadline, or kung gusto nyo may deadline kayo, or in no particular deadline, para you're free to think. Kasi pag may deadline ka, minsan nagpapanik ka na lang and like you're just, again, what I emphasize na hindi ko gusto, you're just pulling strings and seeing what works. Don't do that. So ayun, explain ko pa, if familiar ka sa Virgin Labfest na nangyari last year, I wrote a play na nakapasa and it was called Jenny Lee. And yung pag-structure ko doon sa play na yon is interesting. I'll show ya. Let's remove this. For Jenny Lee, what I did was, there are 3 parts of the story So, ayun. 1, 2, 3. And every part of the story, parang what I did was, I had my own post-it notes on each story. Ayan. Basically, what I tried to do in Jenny Lee is parang sari-sariling plays ito. Gets nyo ba? Parang they're their own stories. Kasi in Jenny Lee, the 3 parts that I wrote don't necessarily have to interconnect with each other. They're basically just talking about the same topics, but telling 3 different stories. So yun, that's an interesting yun yung isang interesting lesson ko for Jenny Lee, is that when I wrote Jenny Lee, I still haven't written something like that, and parang I was writing an anthology of stories instead of just one whole story. That felt nice, and lalo na yun yung play na pumasa sa VLF. So ayun. ang next kong technique na i-explain, story na lang, next kong story na sasabihin sa inyo is when I wrote the play na The Moon. The Moon is basically a Brechtian play. Aware ba kaya kung ano ang Brechtian? Brechtian is basically, mahirap siya explain ngayon, pero para sa akin, ang Brechtian is building a story, right? Building a story that doesn't make you feel the emotion but rather think it. So, 'di ba, kunwari may nagdula na sad story, mapapaiyak ka. Pero ang Brechtian hindi ganon. Kung si Brecht nagsulat ng play na sad, mapapaisip ka lang, hindi ka mapapaiyak. Basically ganon. It's more about like it's making the audience think rather than feel. At least pa yun ang interpretation ko. And yun, when I wrote The Moon, ganun siya yung play kong The Moon. The Moon kasi is basically a Brechtian play siya. So it was constantly breaking the fourth wall. Like there was a narrator coming, and then yung mga sinasabi ng mga characters, tatlo lang, narrator, tapos dalawang characters. Sinasabi ng dalawang characters is all spoon-fed. And parang it's not dramatic. Pero ang ginawa kong twist, by the middle of the play, by the other half of the play, merong blur area and magiging drama siya. And that was a hard play for me to challenge myself. That was a hard play to challenge myself with. Kasi ang pag-structure ko na doon is iba naman sa pag-structure ko in my normal plays, o kaya what I did in generally. Sa The Moon, ang ginawa ko is I literally divided the story into 6 parts. I think 6 parts. Basta, kunwari na lang 6 parts. So, let's have 6 parts here. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Ang ginawa ko, kailangan, yung mga mangyayari on each part is, technical. Gets ba? Hindi siya organic, technical siya Parang planado. Ayun. Planado lahat ng mangyayari. So, on each part, there are 5 things that happen. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And lagyan na natin. 5 things happen. Each part, 5 things happen. And ang ginawa kong division is, sa first part, yung lalaking character lang yung gagawa nitong 5 things. siya sasabi niyan, siya gagawa niyan, siya sasabi niyan. And then sa next part is yung girl character naman. Yung sasabi ng 5 things o gagawa ng 5 things. So ayan, the same thing hanggang sa kalagitnaan ng play, I had to change it kasi it stops being Brechtian, 'di ba? And it starts being a dramatic play. So there's this drastic change that has to happen. And what I did naman on the middle part of the play is pinaghati-hati ko. So the 5 parts, yung simula, sorry, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yung 5 parts, si boy yung unang gagawa nun, si girl yung susunod na sasabi nun, si boy yung susunod na magsasabi nun, and then si girl yung susunod na gagawa. So basically divided na siya. Until the end of the play, the last part, which is hindi na sila magkasunduan. It's all a blur na. So that's the interesting technique that I did for writing The Moon, which was difficult because I've never written a play like that before, where I made the audience think rather than feel. Pero at the end, I made them feel na din kasi by the middle part, there's a blur area where it becomes drama instead of Brechtian. Oh, ayun. I guess yun lang naman yung masasabi ko on my parts. Gets nyo naman yun. Sige, tuloy tayo. Pero right now you're I'm assuming na you're going to ask me. So paano ba, Butch, paano ka ba mag-figure out, ganito na lang. Paano ba i-figure out kung paano ko gusto i-plot ang story ko? Yun yung magiging question yun na ngayon, di ba? Kasi as of now, I've showed you my techniques, pero hindi nyo pa rin alam paano gumawa ng sarili nyong techniques. And the easiest answer to that is that, and the easiest answer and the most accurate is, you have to find the easiest way to plot whatever your story is. So basically, yun. Halimbawa, if the technique that you're doing makes it harder for you to plot your story, then consider na it might not be the easiest and most convenient way to plot it. Kasi, 'di ba? Kasi yun, that's what you're looking for when you're looking for how to structure your play. You have to find the easiest way for you to tell the story, to plot the story. 'Di ba? So, last ko lang halimbawa, kung hindi nyo pa na-gets. Kung iba yung pagsulat ko sa The Moon, kung hindi ganito yung structure ko, I would stop writing it that way and I would start writing it this way. Kasi, kahit it sounds difficult, this was the easiest way to plot the story. So, yun. Yun yung, I would say, para sa class na ito, yung pinaka-importanting tip at advice ko sa inyo. Technique na i-share ko sa inyo, which is to find your technique, your own technique into structuring your play, you have to find the easiest way to do it. Diba? O, yan, I guess medyo na anong oras na? 8:15. We've gone about an hour na. Oh my goodness, I had so much fun. Does anybody have any questions? I'm gonna ask me John if there are any more questions. Wala na siya dito sa Discord. Alright, tag ko lang siya. Hello, is there any questions? Any questions? So habang naghihintay tayo, pwede naman kayo magsabi ng mga appreciation nyo sa class na ito o kaya questions nyo, at sasagutin ko naman yun in a bit. Gusto ko lang sabihin thank you guys for staying this long. Lalo na mga sa Facebook, meron akong mga 6 viewers and thank you for all of them. Thank you sa inyo for staying and listening to me. Kahit alam ko namang medyo kinakabahan ako ngayon at pula yata yung ilong ko dahil kinakatibigla. I'm having a good time doing this class. And thank you sa inyo kasi yun again, happy kayo sa class ko and nagre-reflect yun. Happy din ako with this class. Thank you so much. Does anybody have any questions? Ba? Okay. Baka kasi may ginagawa sa... So, balik na lang ako. Baka, na lang. Ako na lang maghanap ng questions. Alam mo, punta tayo sa Facebook eh. Nasa iyo lamang ang aking puso, alam ko. Sige, hang in there guys. Konting hintay lang. Oof. Ayan, nandito na tayo sa Facebook. Tignan ko lang kung may questions. Hala, di ko makita kung may questions. Di ko ma-pull back eh. Sige, hang on there. Nanonood si CJ. Thank you CJ for coming. Thank you for everyone who's watching on Facebook right now. Hindi ko kayo personally masabi ng thank you kasi like may delay yung Facebook sa live na nangyayari. Pero sige, balik tayo sa Discord. Meron naman yatang questions doon. So, okay, mukhang ayos naman. Meron akong mga Twitter questions. Sige, sagot na lang ako ng ilan pang Twitter questions bago tayo maalis dito. And magte-thank you na ako, final closing notes and everything. Ito. Looking on Twitter. Interesting. Do's and don'ts. Sige, mag-share ako ng do's and don'ts. Meron naman ako na lista dito. Isang do's and don'ts. Number 1 is that ito, kapag mag-edit ka tapos matagal mo nang hindi nababasa yung script mo, wag mo siya gagalawin. Basahin mo muna yung script mo from start to finish and then you edit it. Actually, nag-apply ito for everything eh. Kunwari, nagsusulat ka ng thesis o nagsusulat ka ng something paper mo. Pag hindi mo siya nabasa after a long time, basahin mo muna siya bago mo siya i-edit. Kasi ang mangyayari, kung i-edit mo siya and first time mabasahin, is nanghuhula ka lang kung ano talaga yung inaayos mo. Minsan mali na yung inaayos mo, kailangan pala yun, tapos nabura mo. Alam mo yun? Alright, second advice sa do's and don'ts is pag na-frustrate ka na or masyado ka ng bored magsulat o mag-edit, get off your butt and distract yourself by doing other things. Have fun and just enjoy. Kasi in time, yung peripheral mind mo will go back to thinking about it. And I swear na mas maganda at bago yung ideas mo pagbalik mo into writing after like distracting yourself for a long time. So yun, pag na-frustrate ka na, basically yun, pag na-frustrate ka na, just stop writing and then enjoy life. Alright, number 3, sige sabihin ko ng last ito, huwag mo pilitin sarili mo magsulat. So ano ibig sabihin doon? Magsulat ka lang pag may idea ka. Basically, hindi basically. Otherwise, magsulat ka lang pag may idea ka. Otherwise, lahat ng pinipilit mong isulat ay, alam mo yun, basura lang din kinabukasan. Lahat ng pilit mong isulat, i-erase mo lang kinabukasan kasi like, you know it's not good and pinipilit mo ang sarili mo. Parang what you do in that situation na feel mo magpilit ka na lang magsulat is that magpahinga ka na lang, take that day off or matulog ka, kunwari late night ka na nagsusulat, matulog ka na and kinabukasan pag mas refresh na yung yung utak mo, mas maganda na yung masusulat mo in general. So ayun, do not trust your stress instincts nakasulat dito. Pag stressed out ka, let it go na kunwari, 'di ba, sabi ni Elsa. Charot. Go back to having fun and be inspired when you come back the next day or two. So iyon guys, I think para hindi na tayo magtagal, I am going to be ending this workshop class. Thank you sa lahat ng mga nakikinig ngayon, lahat ng everyone who stayed and asked questions and interacted with me through Discord and Facebook. Encourage ko lahat kayo na nakikinig to share Quaranteatro and invite your friends sa mga kakilala nyo to the Quaranteatro Discord community. Doon kami most active on like sharing things, like looking for theater jobs for Quaranteatro, even outside Quaranteatro, and having free theater classes like this. I'll try, tignan natin kung i-upload ko itong theater class na to soon, para like a lot of more people can watch it, maliban sa mga people na nanonood lang ng live ngayon. Alright? Thank you so much, everybody. I love this and I hope to do this workshop again. Ako po ay si Buch Dacanay, and thank you. Good night, class. Thank you for staying. Thank you to you guys sa Discord na nandito pa. Sige, goodbye na ako sa Facebook. Yeah. I-stop streaming. Hi. O, ayan. Hello, guys. Kamusta kayo sa Discord? Wala na to sa Facebook feed or wala na to sa classes. How are you? Ma-on niyo ba yung mics niyo or anything? Alright, okay lang naman yan. I mean, like, sana na-enjoy niyo yung video. I-enjoy mo yung class. I said video kasi pinanood. I'm checking it on Facebook right now. Woo, thank you. Sige, Ooh. Somebody asked a question. Si Dang D nagtanong ng question. How do you choose the form of language that you use? If it will be formal or informal? If Tagalog pwedeng... Okay, extra... Nagre-record naman yung sa Discord dito. For Dang D, yung tanong na, how do you choose the form of language that you'll use? If it will be formal or informal, in Tagalog, pwedeng colloquial or balbal, ganun. Siguro yung sagot ko doon is, alamin mo kung saan yung audience mo. Kunwari, it's as easy as thinking kung nasa Davao ka, edi your play should speak Bisaya mostly kasi nandun ka sa nandun ka sa area, nandun ka sa region ng ng audience mo eh. And like gusto ko lang sabihin na alam niyo yung mga alam niyo yung feeling na as a writer na gusto niyo magsulat ng English play kasi it will reach more audiences. Hindi siya necessarily nagwo-work. Kasi nandito ka sa Pilipinas eh. Ang reach mo, imagine niyo na lang kung sino yung nare-reach nyo with your arm's length. Kunwari, nare-reach nyo yung papa nyo, yung kapatid nyo, yung family nyo. Basically, yung audience nyo is Filipino audiences. So, that makes more sense. Kasi, ayun nga, what you should, hindi ka masyado aabot when you're aabot to like the States when you're writing, when you're like a local person in the Philippines and then you're gonna write an English play. Of course, mas international language ang English. Pero, what you should be searching for as a writer and as a creator is your audience, what your audience is. Yun dapat yung focus mo. So, Dang D, pagsagot sa tanong mo, if nasa Pilipinas ka, try to write Filipino plays. Pero I'm not saying wag ka ever magsulat ng English. I mean, that's fine, write what you like. Pero if you're asking this question na kung anong form of language yung pinaka-best or gusto mong i-try in writing, write the language that your audience speaks. Ayun, thank you so much. Thank you. Sino tong last na natitira? Thank you so much for staying. Na-enjoy ko ito. At yun, sige, babay na ako para makapag, pahinga na tayo. Thank you so much. Ulit, ako is Buch Dacanay. Bye-bye. Ay, di pa pala ako nag-exit. Pumikit ka lang at huwag kang bibitaw. Ay! Nagre-record pa po siya.